Hello, welcome to the queue. I had a comment that Italy actually has a national objective for the Suez Canal there for 2 that I did not collect. So we're going to add $2 to the Italy cash on their coaster, and that's going to be their new spot for their purchases and cash and whatnot. Get rid of that note. And there's our purchases for Germany. We have $84 to spend. For 30, I've got 2 advanced mech, 2 medium armor, a militia upgrade, and an advanced submarine. For 40, I've got 2 jet fighters, 3 advanced mech, and 2 militia. And then for the remainder, 14, 2 paratroopers, 2 infantry, and 1 militia. And let's go from there on to tech rolls. We're not going to talk about it. You know what I'm talking about. I've talked about it. I've harped on it. I'm going to ignore it and see how this works. So for the 7s, no, that's the 8. I guess I could roll them all together. Let's keep doing it the way we've been doing it. All right. An 11 and a 9. So green and orange. And I'll be, dang. I'm going to change the color of the dice next time. I just can't get that war economy. All right, so let's see if we get the heavy armor at an 8. And we do. So those are our 3 successes here. Factories, artillery, and armor. So let's go up here. Heavy armor gets on the board. Advanced artillery is successful. What was the other one? Factories. Oh, factories is successful. All right, so that's good news on a whole lot of fronts. Since I got the advanced artillery, I'm going to change out these 2 militia for 1 advanced artillery for $4. And that'll be the adjustment based off the tech rolls that were successful. Get rid of that. All right, so combat moves. I'm going to do the combat moves on the bottom of the board, which are just convoying and 1 transport that we're going to sink. We're going to come up here to C-Zone 105 and convoy there. We will convoy here where we're sitting in 110. We have a sub from C-Zone 52 that will go 1, 2, 3 and join the other sub here in 83 and convoy that line there. And we're going to give Anzac a break here and stop convoying for a second. And we're going to come from 134, 1, 2, 3. And that'll be an auto kill on that transport there, that U.S. transport. All right, so let me roll for these 4 convoys here. And then we'll move to the other side of the board and do those combat moves and roll those. All right, here's my dice. And as usual, red is the British dice because of the flag. All right, so sub number 1 in 83. So that gives us 3, so that's even, nothing happens. Second roll, you know what, I had that backwards. That was a 6 for Germany. So they had a 3, so that would be a 9, so that would be a total wipe here on that convoy zone of 4. The second roll would have missed anyway. So we are taking 4 from Britain off the East Africa line. So let's go over here. And the reason why I had a +3 was I got 2 subs on the lines. Gives me that extra one. So we'll start here in 110. And that is a miss. And up here in 105, that would be 6. No, it would be 7. So that would be 5. So we're going to take a total of $9 off of Britain this turn. Much better than last turn. So I'll put that up there so we know that there's 1 point left. And Italy might come out and get that. Who knows? We'll see on Italy's turn what they do. Let's go to the other side where we will do our convoy, or not our convoy, our combat moves. And that's all the debris from that U.S.-Japan battle. That was pretty scary and crazy. And that's what's left. We'll see what Japan does here on this next turn. All right, so for the attacks. Nope, don't want to do that. I want to go out a little. All right, so let's get that off the board. We got start here down here in Turkey. I've got from Bulgaria an elite cavalry, a regular cavalry, 2 elite mountain, and 1 elite paratrooper coming in against 1 Russian paratrooper there. That is the first attack. The second attack will be a, can you see that? Yeah, we got a strategic bomber from Western Germany. And it will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will have 4 left. And I probably should put that on a card. Let me grab one of these. We're going to bomb that airfield in Kiev, and Kiev is surrounded. And without that airfield, then the city is surrounded, and that makes their defense a -1 instead of a +1. So we are attacking Kiev. Let me pull out the Russian defenders. 2 infantry. Let me get that a little over here so we can see it. 2 advanced artillery. And how many militia is that? Put that air base there. 3 militia. So the militia will defend at 1, and the advanced artillery and 2 infantry will defend at a 3. All right, going into Kiev, I've got 1 regular artillery. I'm going to grab 3 guys off this stack. 3 infantry. I've got 2 self-propelled artillery. And I've got, what else here is on my list here? The 2 light armor from Poland. That can go 1, 2. All right, so from Berlin, I've got a jet fighter that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it has 1 left on that jet fighter. And what else did I have going in there? I had this elite armor as well. And was that everything I had? I think that was it. You know what? I think I did. I changed my mind at one point on that artillery. So let's take one of those out. One of those self-propelled. That's what I did. I put that other armor in. So I'm going to put this unit on that ship. So I've got 2 self-propelled still in Western Ukraine. All right, we'll get that chip out of there. All right, so that is the battle for Kiev. And we'll put that over there because we'll probably roll that first on the battle board. All right, so first is to bomb the airfield, and then we will assault the town once it's completely surrounded. All right. So this Panzer Grenadier, or Grenadier, however you want to say that, is going to be joined by this advanced mech in southern Ukraine, which goes 1, 2, and he goes in there, and then he gets the blitz. So those will be, I'll leave that over. And I'll count the numbers at the end of territories we get from Russia. All right, so coming up from the south is this fighter from Iraq. 1, 2, 3, and it'll have a movement of 2 left. 1 infantry from southern Ukraine goes into there, and the country we're attacking is Tardia, I think. It's hard to read upside down. So we got a fighter and 1 infantry attacking 1 infantry. All right. And let's see, our other attacks up here will be 1 infantry from Latvia comes into, or from Lithuania goes into Latvia, which basically is a walk-on and no points. So I'll get rid of that marker, get rid of this chip. All right, so this is also worth no points in Lubiskia. But we will walk in with 1 infantry from Lithuania. We will also bring in 2 advanced mech from Eastern Germany. I'm having a hard time picking up that chip. And they just go 1, 2. All right, these chips here are all infantry. They will move here in a minute. All right, get rid of that marker. All right, so up here in Kola, I've got 1 infantry and 1 advanced mech coming in from Lapland. And we have 1 more Russian battle. Let's see, that was to mark that one. That's to mark that one. And let's mark Moscow. What can hit Moscow? All right, so from Berlin, I've got a strategic bomber bringing a paratrooper. And he comes out into the sea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he will have 3 movements left. I have from Romania 2 air transports. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they will have 3 movements left as well. Or 4 movements, actually, because they had their movement of 8 with that air base. Where's my 4s? Here's a 4. All right, they will also bring 2 paratroopers from Romania on those transports. Let me get another. We'll do, which one did I do? All right, clubs there, diamonds there. So let's put that on there. Moscow is defended by 4 militia. We got 2, 3 paratroopers. All right, what else do we got? From Romania itself, we've got a medium bomber at 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will have 3 left. And we have 2 fighters and 1 TAC. And they will join up there, but they will only have 2 left. So I'll put that 2 on there. So that's what that battle looks like for Moscow. I'm going to leave the transport planes there because I doubt if I'll lose any of those or take them as casualties. So this will be the second battle on the card. All right, so any other battles? I have 1 in Spain. We'll get a 3rd card out for that one, which will be spades. All right, so defending in Spain is 2 infantry and 2 cavalry. And attacking, I've got a jet fighter here in Western Germany, which will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a movement of 1 left. And he will go in there. From Madrid, I've got 2 regular infantry, 1 artillery, 1 elite infantry, and 1 panzer. And that will, I don't know if I've got a little mountain marker here or not. I'll just use that to remind me they're all -1. And that is the only spot that has any terrain effects. All right, so I'm looking to see if there's any more red markers, and I think that was it. Got my walk-ons. Might do these two little battles first while I got the dice tray over here. Oh, I got a third little one too. So we'll do 3 over here, and then we'll do 3 on the battle board. So here's our dice tray, and we'll start at the top. Defense is a militia for Russia, which is a 2. And then Germany is attacking with a 2, which will be the red, and then 4 will be the advanced mech. And the advanced mech hits. So the Russian militia is gone, so that battle is over. And the next one, see if I can do that the same. That'll be the Russian dice again, only this time it's a 4. So I'll be attacking with a 2 for the infantry, and then the black will be the fighter at a 6. No hits. And there's a hit. So the infantry in Terrardia, it's hard to read upside down again, is gone, taking no hits back. The third battle is in Istanbul. Now, the Russian player will be advanced to a 3. So I'm not going to roll all these together just because I've got a lot of different attack values myself. So the 2 mountain infantry will be at 2s. The regular cavalry will be at a 2. The elite cavalry will be at a 3. The elite paratrooper will also be at a 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? Yeah, because they would attack at a 2 normally walking in, but there's the mountains, so they're a -1. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. All right, so that is, I can probably roll all that together because the blacks are going to be 2s, the orange is 3, and then this will be the Russian, and it is a 3. It is boosted up because of the city hex there. All right, so I said that was a 3. Yeah, so no hits. There's a 1 and a 1, so the Russian gets a 7, so in Istanbul it is over. Russia loses that guy. So I will change those dollar amounts here at the end. All right, let's go over to, grab the dice box. And we'll go over to the battle board for Kiev first. And unfortunately, there is an aircraft. So we're going to hit the airfield, and we do 8 damage, but the airfield has a max of 5. So I will put a 5 under that, which kind of stinks for me, but in the scheme of it, I'd rather have all those Russians at -1. All right, so the airfield battle was a success. Therefore, we're going to put these Russians' defense down at 3 and the militia down to 1. All right, so the attackers, that is done. I'll put that over there with that 4. I actually put it out in the middle of Russia because there's not really room there. All right, so for the attack here, we've got 2 artillery, both at a 3. So we're going to boost 2 infantry, and then 1 infantry will attack at a 2. Regular armor at 6, advanced armor at 7, jet fighter at 8, and 2 light armor at 4. So we have 2 first strikes as well as the Russians. So let's get The red dice will be the Russians. They will be at 3s, and the Germans will be the green, also at 3. So Germany gets 1, so we're going to take off 1 militia. Get rid of that chip. All right, so that's it for the artillery. We've got 1 Russian, or 1 German at a 2. We've got 2 Germans boosted to a 3 from the artillery. We got 2 light tanks at a 4. We got a medium tank at a 6. We got an advanced tank at a 7. There's a hit. And a jet fighter at an 8. And there's a hit. So 2 hits. Well, that's a stinker. The Russians are defending 2 at 1. And 4, no, the artillery's already rolled. So 2 at 3 for the infantry. All right, so nothing there. So the 2 hits will go to the militia here. And now we're on to round 2 of the combat. All right, so Germany has an infantry at a 2. Oh, there's a hit. I got 4 at 3 now. 2 artillery, 2 infantry. There's 1 hit. I've got 2 light tanks at a 4. There's a hit. I got a medium tank at a 6. Misses. Advanced tank at a 7. It's a hit. And jet fighter at an 8, which misses. So we got 4 hits. 4 is what I needed. The Russians will return fire with 4 at 3. And they get 1 hit back. All right. So we will lose one of these chips. And all this will go back into Kiev. And I will put that in Russia and deal with it later. Oh, of course I spilled that. All right, next battle up is what? Moscow. So here we have 4 militia, but they're in a city, so they are up to a 3. That kind of stinks. I've got 3 paratroopers, and I'll put that there to remind me they attack on the first round at 3. I got 2 fighters at a 6, and a tactical at a 7, and a medium bomber at a 7. So no first strikes on this one. So we got our 3 paratroopers for Germany, and there's nothing there. I got 2 fighters. There's 2 hits. And then I got a tactical and a heavy or medium bomber, and those are 2 hits. So that's 4 hits. So that's what they had is 4. So they are done. And they have 4 dice back at me at 3. And they get 1. So we'll lose one of these. We don't want to lose our radio man, so we'll lose that guy. All right, so that is Moscow, what's left. I'll put that back over there. And unfortunately for Russia, they just lost 60 plus bones, I think. I don't know what their objectives were, but I thought that's where they were. All right, the last battle here in Spain. What is that? Leon Castile. So nice to say. All right, 2 cavalry at 2, 2 infantry at 4. So we're in the mountains. So these infantry would normally be at a 2. They will be at a 1. Artillery will be at a 3. It'll be at a 2. This infantry elite would be at a 3. It would go down for the mountains, but up for the artillery. So it stays at 3. The light or the medium armor will be down to a 5, and then the jet fighters at an 8. There is 1 first strike for Germany at a 2. Misses. All right, we got 2 infantry at 1. Nothing. We got elite infantry at a 3. That's a hit. Tank at a 5. It's a miss. jet fighter at an 8. Dang. All right. U.S. returns with 2 2s for the, oh, there's a hit. The cavalry, and then 2 4s for the infantry. And those are misses. So 1 and 1. So we'll each, well, they'll lose a cavalry and I'll lose an infantry. All right, so round 2 of the attacks. Let's see, infantry at a 1. Close. Artillery at a 2. Elite infantry at a 3. Medium armor at a 5. There's a hit. And jet fighter at an 8. There's 2 hits. All right, so we got a cavalry at a 2. 2 infantry at 4s. Got a hit. So 2 hits for the Germans. So they'll lose a cavalry and an infantry. And we'll lose another infantry. All right, so let's get back to action. And we got an artillery at a 2. Infantry at a 3. It looked like it was almost there. Tank at a 5. And a jet fighter at an 8. Finally, the jet fighter hits. So that is it for the U.S. They are gone, but they get the fire back at a 9. All right. So surviving is 1 artillery, 1 infantry, 1 tank. We will go ahead and put that into Leon Castile. And where's our jet fighter? Our jet fighter has a movement of 1, so it will land in Madrid. That's kind of the best spot for it there, I think. All right, let's put that marker up. I think that is it for combat. So let's get these out of the way. Let's land some planes. Bomber with 3. 1, 2, 3. Can't make it back to Romania. So I think what we're going to do, all right, 1, 2, 3, yep. Can't make it there. So we're going to stack him. You know what, I probably need to make one of these task force cards. Or maybe I'll just use this here for what's going to be in Eastern Ukraine. All right, so the bomber that had 3 is going to Eastern Ukraine. The 2 air transports that had 4 left will go back to Romania. All right, so you know what, maybe I should, before I land the rest of these planes, let's count money from Russia here. So there's 3, 4, 5, 9, what is this one here? 10. And I think those walk-ons were 0s, right? Yeah. There's nothing there. All right, so $10. So Germany's going to go up 10 to 86. And Russia's going to go down to 41. And U.S. will go down 1 for Leon Castile, and Germany will go up 1. And I forgot, there's another 2 from Istanbul. So Germany will go up 2 more, and Russia will go down 2 more. So now let's finish landing those planes. Got that out of the way. So this marker is going to be in Eastern Ukraine. So this fighter that has 2 left will land there. I have a jet fighter from Kiev, which has 1 left. It will land there as well. In Moscow, these planes, the smaller planes, have 2 left. They will also go there in Eastern Ukraine. And I think the medium bomber has to go there too, because it's got a movement of 3, but I don't want to leave it alone. These 2 paratroopers are in Moscow. Kiev, let's move the rest of my stuff into eastern, is it eastern Ukraine? Yeah, eastern Ukraine. There is an Italian artillery and mech to be joined by, from western Ukraine, one elite armor, two regular armor, two self-propelled artillery, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 infantry, and a regular artillery. From southern Ukraine will be 6 more infantry going into eastern Ukraine. And maybe I'll just leave this marker there to remind me that's what's there. All right, what else do we have? We have from East Poland 2 more. Well, no, there's none there right now. So my marker's getting full here. Look at that. I may have to rearrange this later. 2 advanced mechs from East Poland can also make it there. And I think that is it, except that I am going to rail 2 more from Eastern Germany into the stack. So let me just get rid of one of those and I'll put 2 chips. So that's a total of 4 advanced mech. And that'll all have to be straightened up after hours. All right. So this guy was there from the battle. He is there from the battle. That is what's in eastern Ukraine. All right, so these guys are staying. This elite infantry is going to move up 1. He'll be joined by 2 advanced mech from Warsaw and 1 armor. Is that how I wanted to do that? I guess so, yeah. All right, so we've got 1 infantry from Eastern Prussia moving up into Lithuania. We've used this train. We're going to bring this here, motorized, is going to train over to Paris. So we'll get that train marker off. This motorized is coming into Eastern Germany. We've got a cavalry in Bohemia that is going to stay. This cavalry is going to go into Yugoslavia and Bulgaria. All right, what else do we got on this side of the board? I think we've moved everything. All right, so we got this bomber here that was in Kiev. It has a movement of 4 left. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it can go to Eastern Germany as well. It's not an air base there, but at least maybe I can use him for something else. All right, so in Kiev, maybe I should switch out markers here. I'll put that as Eastern Ukraine, and Kiev has that marker, which in Kiev, the surviving units, 2 infantry, 2 light tanks, medium tank, elite medium tank, self-propelled artillery, regular artillery. That is what is in those spots. Let's see what else we got going down here. All right, so in the Mediterranean, we've got this transport from 52, 1, 2, into Sea Zone 50. We've got the submarine from 52. I guess I can go 1, 2, 3 out to Sea Zone 79. All right, so other moves. We've got infantry and artillery from Paris sliding south into Aquitaine. All right, so in Paris is a motorized and an armor. We have from Picardy 1 infantry coming across on the ferry. We have 2 infantry from British Midlands moving up to Northern. And we got 1 infantry moving into the British Midlands. All right, I think that might be it. Oh, I got a train here. Oh, he's going to Rome. So that's 3 trains I moved. Oh, no, that was 4. That's 4. All right, I moved 2 mech and 1 marine. I think that is it. Oh, well. It'll have to be what it is. All right, so final move is the submarines. We're going to shift this coastal sub from Sea Zone 4 to Sea Zone 3. And then we are going to shift the sub from Sea Zone 3 into Sea Zone 32. And we're going to create a little task marker there. This sub from Sea Zone 10. Well, that's what we were going to do. Is also heading to 32. We've got a sub from Sea Zone 48 that is heading to Sea Zone 32. We also have a advanced submarine from Sea Zone 13, which can go 1, 2, 3, 4 because of the naval base. All right, so that is 4 subs there. And the other subs are where they are. Oh, yeah, I put a marker, and then I put these airplane tokens there to make sure I move my fleet from Sea Zone 15 out to Sea Zone 13. We will hang out there. All right, so grabbing all these markers, I think that's it. Because the other, oh, we gotta turn that one over. Get rid of that US marker. All right, that's what I'm thinking is how we're gonna be. All those guys there are in Istanbul. All right, so does this get in all the factories? I think it does. All right, so let's go place, oh, Vichy. We don't have any Vichy attacks, but we do have 2 moves. We're going to take this transport 1, 2, 3 over to Sea Zone 53, and then this fighter in northern Algeria is going to fly home to southern France. That is the extent of the Vichy moves. Mainly because I don't believe I can go into any of these territories. I think I can only attack French units in French territories as Vichy. So it is what it is. All right, so that is it for that. You know what? I didn't want that to go to southern France, did I? Yeah, they're going to Syria, not southern France. All right. Now let's get to placing units. And I think I got everything in the viewfinder there. Let me go around the board. And just for your knowledge, in what is that, Eastern Ukraine, is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 infantry, 2 medium armor, 1 advanced armor, 1 artillery, 2 self-propelled, 4 advanced mech, 3 fighters, 1 jet fighter, 1 tactical, 1 medium bomber, 1 strategic bomber, and then an Italian motorized and artillery. And that should be good there. All right, so let's place some units. We've got an advanced submarine, of course, coming up here to Sea Zone 13, joining the home fleet there. All right, so we've got our advanced artillery, which will go into Eastern Germany. That will be one of the units. We have a total of 4. Actually, we can do 5. We've got improved factories now, so we can put in up to 8. So there's 4, 5 advanced mechs. I had them chipped out because I didn't think if I didn't get that factory, then I wouldn't be able to do that. So that means in Warsaw, we can place 2 medium armor. In Romania, we can place 2 paratroopers. All right, so we can't place anything in that factory. We just got it. In London, we're going to place an infantry and a militia. I'm assuming that was still in the marker. All right, in Spain, or Madrid, I just have 1 infantry there. I have 1 militia in Gibraltar, and then 1 militia in Turkey. And, oh yeah, 2 jet fighters. I certainly don't want to forget those. And they go into Western Germany there. And the Russian units that come on the board, the elite German units. All right, so the phone, for some reason, shut off recording when I placed my last 2 units, these 2 jet fighters. So not really sure why, what happened there. But what I was getting ready to say was the Russian units that came on the board for the elite of the Third Reich expansion. 2 Russian cavalry, Cossacks, switch sides, along with in Moscow a elite armor. And that's a little weird that a whole armored division switched sides, but I think they see what's coming, so, right? I don't know. But I don't think they're long for this world. I think Moscow will fall, but it may fall again real quick. So that was really the only thing there. The other thing was the cash. Germany is up to 89 with the 6 in national objectives that they have. So that will be $95 in cash for Russia next turn. 95 IPP, I guess. And then Russia turn is up next.